Put a finger down if your tripod just broke a second ago and now you gotta film with your shaky hands. Hey guys, before we get started, I'm gonna film a video where I react to your assumptions about me. If you've been watching me for a while, please leave them down below. Don't make them school related only, okay? I'm not trying to talk about study habits, blah, 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 anything, okay? Cool. Welcome to episode 3 of Decision Making. Today we have Kyle from U of T, Manny from UBC, and Omna from Waterloo to answer your questions about their schools so that you can make a decision. Their YouTube channels and socials are down below, so make sure you subscribe and follow them up to see what they're up to.
What up, Vanessa channel? My name is Kyle So. I go to the University of Toronto St. George campus. My program is kinesiology. I'm in my 5th year. I'm supposed to be graduating this year, but I can't because I can't get CPR certified, which is my last requirement in order to graduate because of the coronavirus pandemic. But anyways, that's the last thing we should be worrying about right now. So I'm gonna answer the questions that Lynette gave me, and let's jump right into it right now. How do you like my program so far? The program is amazing, guys. Faculty Kinesiology is the best kinesiology program ever in Ontario, at least. In comparison to other schools, the faculty is amazing. Everyone knows each other. It's a really collaborative environment. Each year before each semester starts, we have to go to this Camp New Moon, which is up north, and we'd all just like camp together, socialize, interact with each other, build bonds while eating, camping, you know, doing physical activities like canoeing, mountain biking, triathlons, a whole bunch of things. And it's amazing, guys. So faculty kinesiology at U of T, the best kinesiology program you can ever go to, and who wouldn't want to go to U of T, right? How do you like your profs and TAs? Profs and TAs are very understanding, and if you guys need an extension, they don't really question you for a serious reason why. We're all, you know, students at the end of the day. We have other lives outside of school. We have to work, we have to do other things other than academics, so they're understanding for sure. They're very nice, and they get it. They get it, because they used to be in our shoes before. They understand what we're saying. So they're amazing. Are there any internships, co-ops, or studying abroad? In terms of co-op, guys, there's not much co-op unless you're engineering, I believe. It's not as prevalent as Waterloo. In terms of co-op, there's co-op in 3rd and 4th year. We can shadow like a physiotherapist, a chiropractor, any health profession you really want to shadow, but you don't get paid, obviously. In studying abroad, it really depends on your faculty, guys. In terms of my faculty, you can study abroad, but there's definitely a bunch of requirements you have to meet in order to study abroad, so I'm not too entirely sure about that. It's more information on the U of T website for sure. Next question is, what is on-campus living like? I've never lived on campus before, guys. I am a commuter. I live at home, obviously, but I slept in my friends' dorms a couple times, and it's okay, guys. It's whatever. It's not that crazy. It is what it is. It's just sleeping with other people in a residence. It's nothing crazy, in my opinion, at least, because that's what I've experienced. The question is, how is the location? There's 3 parts of U of T, or 3 different regions, which is U of T in Scarborough, U of T in Mississauga, and U of T St. George campus, which is me, which is downtown. So in terms of the location, it's great. It's downtown, guys. You're near Eden Center. There's a whole bunch of restaurants, food places, things you can do downtown. So in terms of location, guys, spot on. It's amazing. I don't live too far away from it. It's near subway stations, and it's great. Next question is, how big is the campus? The campus is huge, guys. There's literally classes all over downtown. It's all spread apart. The only bad thing about it is I don't think there's a sense of community there, guys. People just go to school and go home, and that's what it is, man. There's no sense of community. It doesn't feel like a campus at all because there's just buildings all over downtown. So in terms of the sense of community part, I don't think it's that significant, but the campus is huge because there's classes all over downtown, pretty much. Next question is, how's the food? Depends where you go. There's a whole bunch of food trucks at campus, and it is what it is. It's not the greatest food. It is what it is, guys. You should be grateful for having food to eat in the first place. So I don't really complain about the food at all, unless it's like absolutely garbage. But in terms of food, it's definitely average for sure, depending on where you go, which food truck you go, which restaurant you go, depending which library you go choose to eat at, because there's Robarts, and then there's Gernstein, and there's a whole bunch of other libraries that carry food in them. But in terms of food, guys, just average, nothing amazing. What's a party life like there? In comparison to Western, Queens, McMaster, guys, U of T, it's not even significant, guys. It's not significant at all. It's not known to be a party school. It's a prestigious school, academically competitive. academic focus. So in terms of party, I guess, of course there's gonna be parties, there's gonna be frat parties, all those things, but it's not as significant or prevalent as those other party schools like Western or Mac or Queens. Nothing at all. There's no Ezra Street, you know? U of T students go to Ezra Street to party. You know what I'm saying? That's I'm gonna leave it as that, okay? I'm gonna leave it as that. In terms of transportation, I'm not too entirely sure what this constitutes as, but I take the TTC to school and that's about it. I take the bus, I take the subway, you're pretty much at school. So in terms of like convenience, accessibility to get to school is very easy. So take the TTC, public transit, and you'll be there just fine. So that's that. How would you rate the experience out of 10? My experience at U of T, bruh, it's a hate and love relationship for sure. In that sense that I learned a lot about myself, helped me grow to the person who I am today. I'm very knowledgeable in my field now. However, I hate it because, you know, I'm graduating with some mental issues, some anxiety issues, some depression issues, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all about the mindset and how you approach certain situations. So in my experience, guys, I can ramble on a lot, but I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. I don't regret it at all, but there's many things I would much do and improve on if I can go back in my first 2 years for sure. So I think I forgot one question, and the last question is, are there any extracurricular activities? Yes, there's a whole bunch of them. There's a whole list I can say, but it's easier if you guys just search it up. But I'll say a couple. Definitely intramurals, sports activities, student clubs, arts, you know, student newspaper, arts and theater, dance. There's a whole bunch of extracurricular activities at U of T, so don't worry about that at all. You can get involved in the school a lot. So that's gonna be the end of the video for me, and I'm signing out. Peace, guys.
Hi everyone, my name is Manny. I'm currently a student at the University of British Columbia. I just finished up my second year and I'm studying psychology in the Faculty of Arts. First question is, how do you like your program so far? And I would say that I have fallen in love with the psychology program at UBC. It is a huge program with so many streams that you can specialize in if you want to, like developmental, there's social, personality, clinical if you're into that. So many streams, and there are so many options for courses that you can take in your upper year, which is really awesome in my opinion. How do you like the profs and TAs? I would say that the psychology profs at UBC are actually some of the best profs that I've encountered in my university experience. A lot of them actually don't do research, so they're more focused on lecturing and being a good prof. You can tell that all of the profs are so passionate about what they are lecturing about, and I think those are all characteristics of great profs. They design courses that are challenging but also super manageable if you decide to put the work in and if you want to, so it really is rewarding to see your hard work pay off in a good mark. All of the TAs in UBC psychology are mostly grad students or master students, PhD students, etc. and they're all pretty approachable and helpful if you choose to ask them for help. I personally prefer asking profs for help because they are the ones that write the midterms and design the course, so it's like easier to find an answer from them. But I've had a lot of great TAs who are awesome at explaining information if I've ever been confused about course concepts. I've actually been offered like a lab position from some of my TAs, so if you form great relationships with them, they can get you into labs if you want to in your undergrad degree. Are there any internship, co-op, or study abroad opportunities? So those are not just specific to the Faculty of Arts. We have Go Global, which is the study abroad opportunity at UBC, and there are a ton of different universities that you can study abroad at if you want to. I've also met a number of students who are exchange students in my classes, so that's really awesome. I'm personally not going on exchange, or I don't really want to, but if you are, there's like a ton of information about it on the UBC site. In terms of co-op, it's kind of like another program that you have to get into, and it's like another course basically, so it differs by faculty, but in arts you just have to fill out a survey about what you want to accomplish in your co-op, and then you have to finish two semesters of co-op, I believe, so that'll probably cut into your undergrad degree, but it's a great opportunity to get real hands-on experience in work and stuff like that. I know that in different faculties there are different requirements on getting in. Like some of my friends have had to do interviews and stuff like that before they're able to go on co-op, but I have heard only great things about it. What is on-campus living like? So there are a ton of residences for students who choose to live on campus. There are 3 major first-year residences, which is Vanier, Totem, and Orchard Commons. So if you're going into first year, those are going to be the residence options for you. They're all a combination of like singles, doubles, single connected with shared bathrooms or sometimes like private bathrooms depending on the residence. For upper years, there are a ton of residences like Exchange, Fraser Hall, Acadia, Fairview, and stuff like that. I currently live at home, so I haven't actually lived in the upper year residences, but I've heard there are suites. Some of my friends live there and I've seen their apartments, and they have kitchens for themselves, and then they have their own room and stuff like that. Prices will differ depending on the residence, so if you want to know about a specific one, it's best that you probably just research about how much it'll cost and stuff like that. As a part of on-campus housing in first year, you'll also get a meal plan that comes with it, so that gives you money to spend at the dining hall and at restaurants around campus that I'll be talking about later. And it's just a great way because then you don't have to stress about like getting food and stuff like that. How is the location? So UBC is kind of stuck in like a corner of Vancouver. It's a little bit secluded and like its own little city, I would say. There is like a little section called Westbrook Village that is kind of like a little city, and there's like a grocery store and people actually live there who aren't university students, so it's kind of like its own full functioning city, like just detached from Vancouver. But that being said, it's not far from like actual Vancouver at all, so if you want to have like an experience of going clubbing downtown or like visiting the city, going on Main Street to go thrifting and stuff like that, like it's all super close as well. How big is campus? So UBC is known to have a big campus. I would say from the top of campus at the flagpole or the Rose Garden to the bottom of campus to the forestry building, that would be like a 15 to 20 minute walk depending on how fast you go. So it definitely can be a struggle when planning your courses because we only get 10 minutes to travel in between classes. So if you're running from the top of campus to the bottom of campus, like it's really hard. I've had to like juggle my school schedule and change it up because I wasn't able to make my classes on time. How is the food on campus? So I would say UBC has a ton of food options. In terms of food that goes under the meal plan, we have a lot of different restaurants. Like we have an Italian pizza kitchen, like the dining halls like I said earlier. We also have like Triple O's, an udon place, Tim Hortons, Starbucks. Subway will take meal plan. We also have a ton of food options that don't take meal plan but are super good. It's like a little street in the campus, like just near the outside of campus, where there's like a taco place, another pizza place, oh my gosh, we have Rain or Shine, which is an awesome ice cream place. There's also this like super hidden, it's called the International Food Village. The International Food Village is like underneath some shops just on the outskirts of campus, and there's like a ton of Chinese food, Japanese food, which is really good if you are craving some Asian food. We have bubble tea on campus, which is awesome. And then as I was saying, Westbrook is kind of like the tiny city just across from UBC, and there's like a lot of restaurants there as well. So there are a ton of food options. They are kind of pricey at times. I would say a meal on campus will typically be like $10 to $20. So if you want to treat yourself, you can get a meal on campus. If not, you can cook and you can bring your own lunch as well. What extracurriculars are there? I would say that one of the biggest things about UBC's student life is that there are a ton of clubs that students can join. A club for basically any interest, I'm pretty sure. So when I was in high school, I really enjoyed photography, so I joined a photography club on campus. That was super awesome. There's also a ton of like social clubs, and like I also wanted to join like Mahjong Club on campus because they were advertising, and it seemed like a super fun time, and literally all they do is just set up Mahjong tables from like 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. on a Friday night so that you can just play with your friends. So it's definitely a great way to get involved in campus, meet some more people, and also just have fun with your friends. Aside from clubs, there's also Greek life at UBC. So I'm personally in a sorority. I rushed in my second year, and I found that being in a sorority has helped me meet a lot more people than I would have otherwise. There's just a ton of people and a ton of girls that I wouldn't have met unless I joined the sorority, and it's just a great way to like meet new people, also just attend events different times. I feel like every weekend there's like a different event on campus that I find myself going to, to, whether that's like going to the Pit, which is like a club at UBC, or going to like philanthropies or club events. There's just a ton of stuff at UBC to do. If partying and like social stuff isn't really your thing, there's also a ton of academic clubs as well. I know for sure that you might find yourself enjoying. Those kind of go along with helping you find resources to get internships and co-ops and research positions in labs. There are a ton of resources if you are interested in anything. What is the party life like? I can't say for any other university, but I can say that UBC's party life is pretty good. I would say, as I said earlier, there is Greek life. You don't have to be in Greek life to go to parties. Like, you're able to go to parties on your own if you like so choose. You don't have to be in Greek life in order to like unlock the party life at UBC. We actually have like a pub and a club on campus. We have weekly pit nights on Wednesdays, so literally everyone will go out on a Wednesday to the club and then have a lot of fun. I would say that if you're into partying, it's there are a ton of things on campus, but if you really want to like enjoy the party life at UBC, the best thing to do would be going to the clubs downtown, which is like a 20-minute bus ride off campus. The biggest forms of parties would probably be frat parties in UBC. How is the transportation? I would say that Vancouver public transit is probably one of the best in Canada. Might be a bit of a reach, but there are buses that come very often, and also just a ton of like express buses, a lot of different routes around Vancouver, so it's really easy to take public transit into UBC. We also have this like super new and pretty bus loop that is beautiful, and it just makes public transit really accessible and easy. UBC students also get a free U-Pass when you're registered for like courses, so that means you're literally gonna get like free public transit for the entire school year. There's also public transit that goes around UBC campus in case you're too lazy to walk like 15 minutes. It'll take you from like the bottom of campus to the top of campus for free, and that's a really good option because the campus is really big and it can get tiring to walk sometimes. What would you rate your experience out of 10? I would say my first and second year so far have literally been like a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason why I would dock off a 0.5 is because it can be a bit intimidating at a big school to make a ton of new friends, and also just like a bit hard when like approaching someone in lecture and trying to be friends with them. So in first year I didn't really make that many friends. In second year I definitely made a lot more, just being a bit more outgoing, rushing a sorority as I said earlier. Other than that, I've like found my UBC experience to be awesome. I really enjoy all the courses here. The campus is beautiful, especially when we have great weather. Even then, like when it's raining or whatever, UBC is still awesome. If you feel that you are drawn to UBC for whatever reason, I feel like you should take the chance and attend this school because it is literally the best decision I've ever made in my entire life to attend UBC. Like, not to be dramatic or anything, but like seriously, the best decision I've ever made. Thank you for listening to me talk about UBC and how much I love it for like an entire 10 minutes. If you're interested in seeing more videos about the UBC life and what a UBC student's life is like, you can check my channel out in the description box below. I make vlogs and any type of video and a ton of videos about UBC life and stuff like that, so check me out if you want to. That being said, that'll be it for me. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hi guys, my name is Amna and I just finished my first year in the biomedical engineering program at the University of Waterloo, and I'm excited to answer a few questions and share a little bit about my experience. So the first question is how do you like your program so far? So I really love the biomedical engineering program. It's been a really rewarding program for me personally because of the people. First of all, everyone's super kind and nice and friendly and helping as well. I also love the sense of community within the program because the program is so small. We have so many events and socialization opportunities as well. The program itself is a design-focused program with an emphasis on the engineering design process as well because it's under the Faculty of Systems Design. But it's also an interdisciplinary program in the sense that we cover topics and learn skills from a variety of engineering disciplines, so like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, to even software engineering, which is really cool in terms of job opportunities because it really allows you to explore various career paths. How do you like your profs and TAs? So the profs are absolutely fantastic. They're all really nice and helping, and they're really good with office hours. I find that to be a really helpful learning tool as well, to get that one-on-one time with the prof. The profs are also very understanding and accommodating to student needs and student requests, which is amazing. The TAs are also fantastic. I've had some hit or miss experiences as well, but for the most part, the TAs are really good. And overall, the TAs and profs always make themselves available to be there to support our learning, which is really good. Are there any internship, co-op, or study abroad opportunities? So I think the University of Waterloo does attract so many students, largely because of its co-op program. So there's a huge emphasis on getting internships and real work experience and co-op at Waterloo, especially in engineering. It's mandatory to get between 4 to 6 internships that are about 4 months long within your program. And the internships are really cool. There's a lot of huge companies that are partnered with Waterloo and the co-op program. And I know especially later on in upper years as well, students get really amazing, really cool internships with huge companies all around the world. And it's a really good opportunity to travel in that sense. As for study abroad, there is a study abroad program at Waterloo. I think you have to apply and get matched with a host school. So the fourth question is what is on-campus living like? So I lived on campus in residence. My first year, I lived at Claudette Miller Hall, and I absolutely loved my experience in residence. CMH, or Claudette Miller Hall, is the newest residence at Waterloo. It is a very social, lively residence. It's a pretty big residence, I would say, and the rooms are really spacious, so I love it. I met so many of my close friends in residence, and honestly, living in residence really like takes the friction out of like making friends and socializing in that sense. It's also, the residence building that I lived at was super close to campus, and it was like a 5-minute walk to almost all my classes. How is the location? So the city of Waterloo, I guess, is home to a lot of uni students and undergrad students because you have Laurier and University of Waterloo and Conestoga College all within like close proximity. So there's a lot of activities, I would say, around the Waterloo area. Like there's a lot of restaurants and things like that. But personally, I didn't really leave campus too much unless it was like to go to the mall or something. And it was the same for my friends. So yeah, I didn't really explore too much of the city. Sixth question is, how big is campus? I would say the campus is pretty big. There's tons of buildings, but it's about a 20 to 25 minute walk to get across campus. 15 if you're super fast, but yeah, I would say it's a pretty big campus. Another cool thing about the campus though is that all the buildings, I think all of them or most of them are connected with indoor tunnels. So you can really get from one building to all the way across campus just through like going through these indoor tunnels. So you never have to go outside, which is really useful in the winter months. And I made use of these tunnels to get across campus all the time in the winter. The seventh question is how is the food? So I would say the food in the actual residence buildings gets boring really fast, and it was the same for my friends. Like we got really sick of it pretty fast. But there's tons of different like eateries and restaurants on campus that aren't like in the actual residence building, and that you can use that to like change up the food and not get sick of it so fast. But yeah. What extracurriculars are there? So there are a ton of extracurricular activities at Waterloo and ways to get involved on campus, and I highly recommend that any first years or prospective students get involved in campus somehow. There's clubs, there's design teams, athletic programs, intramurals, different things like that. At the beginning of the year during orientation week, there's actually a like club fair where all the clubs come out and they share what they have to share about their club, and you can join. As for me, I am part of the biomechatronics engineering like design team, which is kind of like an engineering club, but we're working on a powered arm prosthetic for a double amputee in El Salvador, which is pretty cool. So question 9 is, what's the party life like at Waterloo? So I feel like there's definitely a stigmatism or like a stereotype that Waterloo doesn't lend itself to socialization, which I think if you don't make yourself open to socialization opportunities and you don't make time for that, you can be like kind of stuck in a bubble. But there are definitely parties around campus, and I think that a lot of people also go to other universities to party as well, like Laurier and stuff. 10, how is the transportation? So the Waterloo area has the Ion and bus system which is like the ION is like this train, and the buses are like buses, but they're available to you as a student through your student card, which they're excellent forms of transportation. They come really regularly and frequently, and they're really reliable for getting around the city as well. And yeah, I used it a few times, but not super often. How would you rate your experience out of 10? So I would rate my experience an 11 out of 10. I absolutely loved going to Waterloo. I loved biomedical engineering. I loved my residence experience. Everything was fantastic, and I couldn't have asked for a better first year, other than the fact that it was cut short. But yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic experience, and if I could go back and choose Waterloo again, I definitely would. I've met some lifelong friends here and made memories for a lifetime. So yeah, I hope that I helped you guys out with by answering a few of these questions.
Thank you to all my special guests, and thanks for watching episode 3 of Decision Making. I'll see you guys in the next one.